This video has words starting with A-T. The first word is atavism. Atavism. Atavism in American and atavism in British. Atavism is the tendency to revert to ancestral type. In biology, an atavism is an evolutionary throwback, such as traits reappearing which had disappeared generations before. So it is basically inheritance from a distant ancestor of a trait not possessed by nearer ancestors, reversion to an earlier type. So atavism is like a reversion or returning. So recurrence in an organism of a trait or character typical of an ancestral form and usually due to genetic recombination. And recurrence or reversion to a past style, manner, outlook, approach or activity. Architectural atavism. So we use the at preposition in many ways. When I say the sea is cooler at night, it is followed by a noun without a determiner denoting a particular period of time. When I say it is also used followed by a noun without a determiner denoting the time spent by someone attending an educational institution or workplace. Or it is denoting a particular point or level on a scale. Prices start at 15 rupees. So it is also used in expressing a particular state or condition. His ready smile put her at ease. So at ease. Then when I say boxing was the only sport I was any good at, it means expressing a relationship between an individual and a skill. It is also used in expressing an incomplete or attempted action typically involving repeated movements. She clutched at the thin gown. When I say they live at Conway House, it is expressing location or arrival in a particular place or position. When I say holding a prison officer at knife point, it means expressing the means by which something is done. When I say I looked at my watch, it is expressing the object of a look through action or plan. And it is also used in expressing the target of a shot from a weapon. They tore down the main street, firing at anyone in sight. It is also used in expressing the time when an event takes place. The children go to bed at 9 o'clock. It is also used in referring to someone's age. At 14, he began to work as a postman. It is also used in speech to indicate the sign at in email addresses, separating the address holder's name from their location. The next word is ataxia in both the accents, which in medicine means the loss of full control of bodily movements. So ataxia is a disorder of movement, coordination or balance that can be caused by hereditary deficiencies or a specific life event. So have you ever tripled while walking or tried to throw a ball and completely missed your target? Every once in a while, most of us are a little clumsy and uncoordinated, but ataxia is a condition that leads to excessive issues with coordination. Ataxia can be caused by an infection, an injury, damage to the cerebellum, another type of disease, or a degenerative disorder. Less common causes include vitamin deficiencies, tumor, and toxic reactions to some type of poisoning. Ataxia may be caused by a specific event or may be hereditary and passed along through certain gene defects. Symptoms of ataxia. Symptoms vary based on the type of ataxia an individual has and may include unsteady walking, changes in speech, difficult swallowing, darting eye movement, and difficulty with fine motor skills like writing or getting dressed. Inherited recessive disorders may begin to show during childhood years, though these are genetic tests that can be screened for the condition. And the ataxic gait includes lack of proper coordination, unsteady gait with the potential to stumble and fall, frequent falling episode. Optic ataxia is a type of ataxia where the patient is not able to guide his or her hand towards it's an object with the help of visual information. With this spelling, I will read the next word as atheist, A-T-H-E-I-S-T, but the pronunciation is atheist, atheist, atheist in both accents, atheist, ast. Atheist is a person who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods. He is a committed atheist, a non-believer, a disbeliever. So disbelief in or denial of the existence of God. If a person wants to be atheist, it's his God-given rights to be an atheist. What? And atheism is the knowledge that ghosts don't exist, death is final, magic is fake, good or evil is relative, consciousness requires a brain. If you say I'm neither Christian nor Jew nor Hindu, I am an atheist and I do not believe in God. There is a difference between agnostic versus atheist. Agnostic does not believe that the existence of God can be known or proved, but atheist does not believe in the existence of God. And agnostic, neither a believer nor a disbeliever of God, but atheist is a disbeliever of God. And agnostic is the opposite of gnostic, G-N-O-S-T-I-C, and atheist is the opposite of theist, T-H-E-I-S-T. Atheists can be quite stubborn about their anti-God views. They are doubting. Agnostic. We all know athletics or athlete. What is this atheling? In both accents, atheling is basically not much needed because it is historically it means a prince or lord in Anglo-Saxon England. Okay, so that word is over, and next word is athlete in both accents, which means a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. He had the broad-shouldered build of a natural athlete. In British, it is a person who takes part in competitive track and field events, athletics. And basically, it is the sportsman, sportswomen, everyone is called an athlete. The next word is athletic, D in American, and athletic, T in British. It is basically in British relating to athlete or athletics, an athletic event. So it is in North American, it is physical sports and games of any kind. So when I say a big muscular athletic boy, which means a physically strong, fit and active, it is basically athletics is basically sport of competing in track and field events, including running races and various competitions in jumping and throwing. Basically it is the sporting. When I say they were banned from the athletic events, it means they were banned from the sporting or the games, or gymnastics, competitive events, track and field, anything. And the next word is atlas. Atlas is a book of maps or charts. I looked in the atlas to see where Naples was. So in anatomy, atlas is the topmost vertebra of the backbone, articulating with the occipital, OCCIPITAL bone of the skull. So this is the atlas, the C1 in the cervical spine. So an atlas is a collection of maps of different countries. It also includes facts about every country in the world, bodies of water, population, currency, distance, etc. The next word is at, a short mus, atmosphere in American, and last R is silent, atmosphere in British. Informally, atmosphere is a pleasurable and interesting mood, a superb restaurant full of atmosphere. Or you can say a air in any particular place. These beetles breed best in a damp atmosphere. Informally, creating a distinctive mood, typically of romance or nostalgia. Atmospheric lightning. Basically, it is the envelope of gases surrounding the Earth or another planet. Part of the sun's energy is absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere. You can also say that a restaurant has a friendly atmosphere. So It is the pervading tone or mood of a place, situation, or creative work. The hotel has won commendations for its friendly, welcoming atmosphere. In physics, it is a unit of pressure equal to mean atmospheric pressure at sea level, or it is 101325 pascals, or it is relating to the atmosphere of the earth, atmospheric pollution. When you say full of atmosphere, it means full of, very impressive or distinctive, full of character. Atmospheric physics is a vital part of a weather forecast model, and it's often referred to as the physical parameterization. Our research focuses on how to represent unsolved physical properties in the atmosphere, such as radiation, clouds, and subgrid turbulent motions. There are so many layers of air called troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. An aeroplane goes in troposphere. What people usually call atmospheric lightning is totally separate from what people usually call glow. Atmospheric lightning, in the simplest way, is just fog. Unity does support several simple fog modes. If you want to go fancy, you could do fancier fog yourself in the shader or as a post-processing effect. That is more complex simulation of air scattering, etc. Atmospherics is the electrical disturbances in the atmosphere due to lightning and other phenomena, especially as they interfere with telecommunications. Effects intended to create a particular atmosphere or mood, especially in music. A smoky jazz sound with spooky atmospherics. When I say lush atmospheric touches in every room, it means intended to evoke a particular emotional tone or aesthetic quality. Atmospheric storms is pertaining to existing end product produced by or consisting of the atmosphere. Atmospheric effects, atmospheric lightning as having or producing a distinct emotion or tone, mood, or quality. When I say beautiful atmospheric music, it means ambient surrounding background music. The next word is atoll. Atoll in American and atoll in British, which means a ring-shaped reef, island, or chain of islands formed of coral. A coral is nothing but a hard, stony substance secreted by certain marine coelenterate as an external skeleton, typically forming large reefs in warm seas. Coral reef, a sedentary coelenterate of warm and tropical seas with a calcareous, horny, or soft skeleton. Most corals are colonial, and many rely on the presence of green algae in their tissues to obtain energy from sunlight. There is something called lagoons, which is a stretch of salt water separated from the sea by a low sand bank or coral reef. In North American or Australian and in New Zealand, a small freshwater lake near a larger lake or river is called lagoon, or sometimes a lagoon is an artificial pool for the treatment of effluent or to accommodate an overspill from surface drains during heavy rains. Atoll, or sometimes called coral atoll, is a ring-shaped coral reef including a coral rim that encircles a lagoon partially or completely. There may be coral islands or cays, CAYS, on the rim. So another definition for atoll is a coral island consisting of a reef surrounding a lagoon. This is the simplest definition of coral island consisting of a reef surrounding a lagoon. The next word is atom. In American and atom in British, which means the smallest particle of a chemical element that can exist. Particle, molecule, bit, little bit, tiny piece, anything can be called as an atom. Or informally, it could be extremely small amount of something. I shall not have one atom of strength left. In Canadian, it is a level of amateur sport typically involving children aged between 9 and 11. So 8 atom hockey teams. Or it could be atomic particles as a source of nuclear energy, the power of the atom. So most of the energy that can be found in an atom is in the form of the nuclear mass. The nucleus of an atom contains protons and neutrons, which are held together by the strong nuclear force. So atom has a nucleus and the protons, electrons are revolving around. Negatively charged particles are called electrons. Atomic means relating to or using the energy released in nuclear fission or fusion. The atomic age required a new way of political thinking, which means of or forming a single irreducible unit or component in a larger system, a society made up of atomic individuals pursuing private interest, which means forming a single irreducible unit or component in a larger system. In chemistry, of a substance consisting of uncombined atoms rather than molecules, atomic hydrogen, which means it has not combined atoms, are still in the atomic state. Atomic is relating to an atom or atoms, the nature of matter at the atomic level. The next word is atone or atonal or atone or atony or atani. Anything is correct. Okay, so let me go to what is atone. Atone is make amends or reparation, a human sacrifice to atone for the sin. Here atone means compensate the penalty, the answer, or you're making amends. Atonal means not written in any key or mode. Atonal music may be written by obscuring tonal structures or by ignoring conventional harmonies altogether. So atonal basically means it is having the meaning unkeyed, or it is off key, unharmonious, or it could be harsh. Atonement means, it is also kind of making compensation in religious context, reparation or expiation for sin, an annual ceremony of confession and atonement for sin. It is the action of making amends for a wrong or injury. He submitted his resignation as an act of atonement. So in Christianity, in Christian theology, the reconciliation of God and mankind through Jesus Christ is also called atonement. Atonement, it is like a compensation. Atonement is one of those words you likely hear in church or see on Christian blogs. But what does it mean? Surprisingly or maybe unsurprisingly, atonement is attached to a few controversies within Christianity. My goal here isn't to exhaust those controversies, but instead to simply explain what the word atonement means, as well as to give you a picture of atonement. Simply put, the word atonement means reconciliation. It refers to the condition of being one with others. More specifically, atonement is a reference to the sacrifice that Jesus Christ made in order to reconcile sinners to a holy God. So atonement is the action you taken to correct previous wrongdoing, either through direct action to undo the consequences of that act, or equivalent action you take by doing something good for others. So atonement, the blood of the innocent is shed for the sins of the guilt. Next word is atony or atani. Both are correct. In medicine, atony or atonia is a condition in which a muscle has lost its strength. It is frequently associated with the condition atonic seizure, atonic colon, uterine atony, gastrointestinal atony, occurs post-operatively, and choreatic atony. There are so many types of atony. The word atop in American and atop in British, tap in American and up in British basically means on the top of. The weather vane is perched atop the great tower. So it means on the top. The air raid siren atop of the county courthouse. Here atop of means on the top. The next word is at rebellious, or it is ours at rebellious. It is at rebellious in American and at rebellious in British. At rebellious in American and at rebellious in British. In literary, at rebellious is you're irritable and melancholy, and at rebellious old man. So basically at rebellious is you're morose, sad, gloomy. The next word is atresia in American and atresia in British. Basically, it in medicine as absence or abnormal narrowing of an opening or passage in the body. In physiology, the degeneration of those ovarian follicle which do not ovulate during the menstrual cycle. And then there is esophageal atresia, where the esophagus is abnormally narrowed. Next word is atrausious in American and atrausious in British. Atrausious is what I'm going to choose, which means of a very poor quality, extremely bad or unpleasant. He attempted an atrocious imitation of my English accent, which also means a murderous or very villainous or horrifying, wicked, atrocious cruelties. So atrocious is extremely or shockingly wicked, cruel or brutal. When I say an atrocious crime, it means extremely evil or cruel, monstrous. Atrocious behavior is exceptionally bad or abominable. Atrocious deed, an atrocious road accident, atrocious writing, it's basically atrocious. So atrocious is savagely brutal, very bad, outrageously cruel or wicked, abominable, in bad taste. That's atrocious grammar. Okay, or you can, the food here is atrocious. This means very bad. The treatment of the prisoners was atrocious. The next word is atrocity in American and atrocity in British, which means an extremely wicked or cruel act, typically one involving physical violence or injury. A textbook which detailed war atrocities. But in a humorous way, you can say a highly unpleasant or distasteful object. Atrocities in cheap red nylon, which means that object is very cheap. I mean very unpleasant object. The next word is atrophy. It is at, no, the earlier word is at. Here it is at. Atrophy, a short tr. It's not atrophy. If I have to read it, I will be reading it as atrophy. Very long, but it is a short tr. Atrophy in both accents. Of body tissue or an organ waste away, especially as a result of the degeneration of cells or become vestigial during evolution. The calf muscles will atrophy, which means give a crumble or disintegrate, collapse, gradually decline in effectiveness or vigor due to underuse or neglect. The imagination can atrophy. The imagination can atrophy from lack of use. And in related to body, it is the process of atrophying or state of having atrophied. So it is gastric atrophy, which basically means a shrinking, drying up or decaying, wilting. So simply you can say without exercise your muscles will atrophy. Atrophy here is to waste away or decline in strength due to underuse or neglect. As a medical condition, it is to thrive or to grow. Like, no, it is antonymous to thrive or to grow. And in the sentence you can use, he had developed muscular atrophy, which meant his muscles began to wither away. And atrophic gastritis is the medical term for stomach inflation. Atrophic gastritis is the chronic form of gastritis. Doctors mostly find inflammation in the mucous membrane of a person's stomach lining. This leads to various digestive problems. We can say muscles atrophy. Here atrophy is like a verb. I have never seen a verb that sounds like atrophy. Muscles will atroph is what I expected, but it was muscles atrophy when someone has muscular dystrophy. Here atrophy is to wear down or lose strength or become weak as from disease or injury, to wither away. We can say after several months in a hospital bed, my leg muscles had atrophied. Here it means to be reduced in size and therefore strengthened to become weaker. The next word is attaboy in American and attaboy in British. Attaboy is used to tell a man or woman that they have done something well or to encourage them. Okay, it's like bravo or well done, good job. You simply say attaboy. That was an excellent game. Attaboy. It is basically an interjection, and it is the North American term to express encouragement or enthusiastic praise to a male, basically. It is like congratulations, bravo, or kudos, congrats. Atta girl is also used. Atta boy is also used. For boys, it is atta boy. For girls, it is atta girl. It is like way to go, well done, splendid. Basically, it is an informal expression of encouragement or admiration to a man or boy. So it is attached in American and attached in British, which means of importance or value be attributed to. For example, a good deal of prominence attaches to the Central Union Federations, or it can be accompanying a person or group without being invited. They were all too ready to attach themselves to you for the whole day. Or it could be add or fasten a related document to another or to an email. I attach a copy of the memo to you for your information. Or it could be appoint someone for special or temporary duties. I was attached to another working group. Or it could be an attribute importance or value to. He doesn't attach too much importance to fixed ideas. Or it is include a condition as part of an agreement. The Commission can attach appropriate conditions to the operation of the agreement. And in law, archaically, it is seize a person or property by legal authority. The Earl Marshal attached Gloucester for high treason, but it is not used now. This thing about law is very archaic. And attachment could be a computer file appended to an email, or it could be affection, fondness, or sympathy for someone or something. She felt a sentimental attachment to the place, creep over her, or it could be an affectionate relationship. He formed an attachment with a young lady, so it could be an assignment, detail, or appointment. He was on attachment from another regiment. It is like an assignment or transfer, or in British it is the temporary secondment to an organization. The students are placed on attachment to schools for 1 day a week. It is like a temporary thing, or it could be an extension or supplementary part. The shower had a soothing massage attachment, or it could be an extra part or extension that is or may be attached to something to perform a particular function. The processor comes complete with a blender attachment, or it could be the action of attaching something. The case has a loop for attachment to your waist belt. The next word is attack in American and attack in British, which means it is aggressive related thing. It is act against someone or something aggressively in an attempt to injure or kill. A doctor was attacked by two youths. An aggressive or violent act against a person or place. He was killed in an attack on a checkpoint. Or it is like take aggressive military action against a place or enemy forces with weapons or armed force. In February, the Germans attacked Verdun. Or it could be related to begin to deal with related. Okay, for example, when I say a plan of action to attack unemployment, it means begin to deal with a problem or task in a determined and vigorous way. Or to tackle a problem, you can say actions taken to attack COVID-19. So here it means to tackle a problem, or it could mean criticize related. Here an instance of a fierce public criticism or opposition. He launched a stinging attack on the Prime Minister, or just like criticize or oppose fiercely and publicly. He attacked the government's defense policies. Basically it is criticizing. Sometimes it could be health related because of a disease, chemical or insect. Act harmfully on. HIV is thought to attack certain cells in the brain, or it is a sudden short bout of an illness or stress, an attack of nausea, fit, seizure. Or it could be a destructive action by a disease, chemical or insect. The tissue is open to attack by fungus. Sometimes it is a sports related. When I say in sports, an aggressive attempt to score a goal or point or otherwise gain an advantage. The Cardiff attack broke down inside. Or in sports, make a forceful attempt to score a goal or point or otherwise gain an advantage. The Crystal Palace attacked swiftly down the left. Or in British, it is the players in a team who are in a position of trying to score a goal or winning points. In chess it is a move into or be in a position to capture an opponent's piece or pawn, PAWN. The white queen attacks the black rook. The next word is attain in American and attain in British, which means succeed in achieving something that one has worked for. Clarify your objectives and ways of attaining them. Or it could be reach a specified age, size or amount. Dolphins can attain speeds in water which man cannot yet emulate. So it is basically get, grasp, something like that. Or it could be achieving. The next word is attar in American, or it is at-a, R silent, at-a in British. Attar in American, or it is at-a in British, which is nothing but a fragrant essential oil typically made from rose petals. Attar of roses. The next word is attempt in American and attempt in British, which is try to climb on top of a mountain. The expedition was the first to attempt Everest, or just making an effort to achieve or complete something difficult. She attempted a comeback in 2001. Basically, it is an effort, and there's the effort to surpass a record or conquer a mountain, and attempt on the unclimbed northeast ridge. So it is basically an effort to achieve or complete a difficult task or action, an attempt to halt the bombings, or it is a bid to kill someone. Karakazov made an attempt on Tsar's life, or it is a thing produced as a result of trying to make or achieve something. She picked her first attempt at a letter out of the wastebasket. The next word is attend in American and attend in British, or it is attendance in American and attendance in British. So attend is be action or state of going regularly to or being present at a place or event. My attendance at church was very patchy, P-A-T-C-H-Y. So attendance, she is being blamed for the museum's low attendances. So be present. The wholesale force attended the conference. He muttered that he had business to attend to. Here attend means deal with. Sometimes escort and wait on a member of royalty or other important person also means attend. Her Royal Highness was attended by Mrs. J. Stevens. So you can say go and attend the school. Go and attend your class. Or it could be occurred with or as a result. People feared that the switch to the peacetime economy would be would occur by the severe slump, SLUMP.